I'm going to starting this show.
Hello. Welcome everybody to another edition of Wednesday Night OWCP Chats.
With Chris.
With your friendly host, Gini.
And your not so friendly host, Chris.
No, I'm the entertainment. Okay, we're going to start quick.
God help us.
We're going to start quick tonight because we are going to do Q&A. Everybody likes Q&A.
The Q stands for questions, so you're going to have to bring some. And the A stands for...
answers.
Awesome
answers. And if you want to see how to get this look, follow me on Glamourology Facebook page. Ding! Anyways, we're going to start quick. I'm going to share real quick. If anybody, hold your questions really quick while Chris does some housekeeping stuff.
Nope, there's no housekeeping this week.
And don't forget to click the follow button and the share button. You know, there's one group called Federal Injured Workers. And there's so many people on that page that I skim through that have no clue what to do when getting injured on the job. So if those of you want to share to that page, please go ahead. Tell people to watch because there must be a couple thousand people on there. They don't have a clue. And I think it's really sweet that you guys tag us on there.
Yeah.
So they could find out. So
hey, Jerry.
While you all share, I'm a share. And Chris will do some housekeeping.
I'm not sure what this is tonight.
Get your broom and your dustpan, Chris.
This is going to be a long night.
Let's get going. Housekeeping.
Yeah, so, hey, we were, like 2 months ago in Allentown, Pennsylvania? A month ago, right?
Yeah.
I never took the opportunity to thank the NALC for inviting me there. No, really, I'm grateful. It was my first time teaching live since before COVID. And it was really exciting to be there. So I want to thank the NALC for that. It's clear that they care about their members enough to get some help on a much needed topic, OWCP, so that's great. All of you should write your national NALC branch and tell them thank you for letting that happen. No, I think that's a good idea. This week, we're going to be at a location that I cannot disclose.
We're not disclosing our information.
I'm going to be at a location I can't disclose.
Sorry.
Teaching at an event
yes.
that I probably shouldn't say out loud. And I'm super excited about it. We just love doing all of these live events. We are just in, I'm shifting gears now. We're just in Dallas at the Gaylord Texan. If you've never been there, it's incredible. Lots of fun. You should check it out. And we were at a doctor's convention. And we found some good leads. Nothing's a guarantee till it's done. But we found people in Oklahoma, Mississippi, and Arkansas. 3 new states. So,
and possibly Kentucky.
That's right, possibly Kentucky. So 4 states that we previously are not in, or we're not now. So if we can make these deals happen and get these doctors on board and trained, then that's, potentially 4 more states where we can help people. So I'm really, really excited about being able to bring doctors to more of you.
Yeah.
For those of you that are new, we are Federal Injury Centers, like her shirt says. There's a sign up there you can't see. And Federal Injury Center's mission is to put doctors near every federal employee nationwide, within driving range of everyone. And right now we've got, I don't even know how many, okay, because we haven't updated our website, but a lot in like 17 or 18 states, and counting, obviously, as we just said. So we're really grateful that you've been patient with us, because now that we're, expanding the way we are, some people get frustrated that we're not expanding fast enough.
We're trying.
Hey, I understand, 100%. You wouldn't believe it how frustrated I am that we're not expanding faster. But in the last year, heck, we went from like 8 to 50-something offices. So that's rapid growth. We just have to make sure these doctors are ready to go. On the topic of schedule awards, many of you will have or should have seen that I posted who's it, Dr. Rue?
Yes,
that does
so far
6th edition impairment ratings. And was it Dr. Rue in Gilbert, Arizona that does them?
Yes, he's in Gilbert, Arizona, Dr. Farid Rood. Rue.
Rue.
You can also find him on Facebook page, Federal Injury Centers of Gilbert, Arizona. Or if you need to get in touch with him and you can't, go on our website, federalinjurycenters.com, or you can contact us on our chats and we'll get you on over there.
All right, so check him out. For those of you that need schedule awards, he's ready to go. And then Dr. Lee's office in Pinellas Park has a doctor named Dr. Fred who is in the process of training. He'll be ready to go. And we are currently doing inventory of all of our offices that are ready to do impairment ratings. And so we'll let you know as things develop, as my dad would say.
Yes, we'll bring you more as things develop.
And finally, you're going to notice a change at Breaking OWCP, which is my book's website. For those of you that are new, I wrote a couple of books on OWCP. The changes are going to be significant because more of you are going to get the books. I am cutting out as much of my overhead as possible so that I can cut out the price for you. And starting, I would assume, tomorrow or the next day.
Probably by Monday.
At the latest. Yeah. Everything is going to be PDF. I've got a few copies left of book 2, and I'll continue to let you guys have those, but I'm discounting them down to $7.50 if you want the paperback copy. Otherwise, everything is going to be PDF. They're only going to be $5 a piece, and shipping's free because it's a download, you know? So there's no reason not to get it. Everybody's got $5. It helps me maintain my website, basically.
I don't have $5.
Okay. So anyways, it'll help me maintain the website, and that's really all I'm concerned about. So pass it on, go take a look. But right now, the changes aren't fully in effect, but they will be fully done no later than Monday. So I think that's it. What else do we have?
That's it. So I'm still sharing.
And you all share as well, please. If you're here, like, follow, and share. Definitely share. Definitely follow. And as long as you're doing it, hit the like button. Let me do them all.
OMJ.
So we want to answer your questions tonight about OWCP. Some of you are going to ask me questions that are unrelated to that topic, and I'm going to answer those too, like an expert. So let's see what you got. What questions do we have tonight?
Well, I'm sharing.
Nah, just share later. Let's go.
But then people want to see.
Well,
okay.
okay.
I will
These
share
people want to see.
I will share later.
Yep. All right.
Let's click it. Okay, let me see what I can get to. First question. LOL, you guys are great. Crystal, I'm great. I'm not sure about Chris. Okay. Thanks, Crystal, for that.
Yeah.
Juan, good evening. Annie Boyd. Can anyone recommend a disability retirement lawyer that doesn't require a $7,500 retainer fee? I will, if you message me on the Wednesday night chats, please message me where you live and you want disability retirement and your phone number, and I will get it over to Eric. Tana McDowell, eye makeup is on point tonight. Thank you.
Boom.
Follow me at Glamourology Facebook page. Okay.
There's people that are new on here going, am I at a makeup page, a stand-up comedy act, or a work comp class? And I honestly don't know, and I'm sitting here doing this thing.
It's a little of all above.
It's a little bit of all above.
So Jeff says, off blood clots from COVID pneumonia.
Dang,
Just
Jeff.
got comp approved. My doctor and hospital bills that I will get from being admitted. Am I responsible for that, or can I turn them into comp?
Okay, definitely turn them in. You should have gotten a CA-16 when you fill out your CA-1 on eComp for your COVID claim. If you reported more than 7 days, you're not going to be eligible for the 16, but that would have covered your bills. Once your claim gets approved, be sure the hospital has your 9-digit claim number, and that should cover you. Any bills that you are responsible for, you're going to fill out an OWCP 915, submit that with your receipts, and once your claim's approved, they'll reimburse you.
There's your answer, Jeff. Alita Roland, love the makeup, looking fabulous.
Thank you.
Follow me on Glamourology.
I do my best work under pressure.
Yeah,
so.
Chris did all this. Let me give him kudos.
I thought she was talking about my makeup. Sorry.
Brent Ballard, hi guys, watching from my hospital room in San Diego. Oh,
Yeah, I saw that. You just had surgery.
Healing from my third knee surgery in 4 months, DOL case.
Hang in there.
Well, thank you
We're
for
pulling for
watching us, even though you're in the hospital. Oh my gosh.
Now that I know that, we need to get a little more entertaining.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to step it up.
Melissa, good evening. This is my first one. Thank you for the information.
Hey, Melissa.
Well, welcome, Melissa.
Tell all your friends.
Tell them, yes. Renee Marie, can we promote Chris as self-published indie author?
You sure can.
Of course.
Yes, you can. In fact, I need an agent.
There you go. Who wants to be? Dr. Andrew Kammerer is on. Hi,
What's up, Dr.
everyone.
K?
Dr. Kammerer here to help. We have offices located in Pinellas Park, Lando Lakes, Palm Harbor, St. Pete, all located in Florida. Call us.
And let me tell you something about Dr. K. He's involved in the report writing process for their offices in the Florida, St.
And he's kicked butt.
Okay, so that's what I was going to say, basically.
He's
so
awesome.
I don't have to say anymore. But no, he's incredible.
Yeah,
Nobody has picked it up as fast as he picked it up. And so if you've got a claim that you're struggling with, that's where you go. This guy gets it done.
Go see Dr. K.
He gets it done.
Raj Nagpal, he said, hi, guys. Well, hello to you.
What's up?
Okay, Melissa, how can I find an OWCP doctor in my state? Because mine is retired.
What state are you in? Let me tell you what I recommend. I recommend Google, first and foremost. Google OWCP injury doctor in your city and state. Any doctor that wants to be found will be found using that search. I mean, it's like the most broad search ever. Nobody would ever search that. So OWCP injury doctor city state should give you some results that'll help you depending on the state you're in. If you're in like Iowa, Idaho, Montana, you're not going to find anybody. We're working on it. So let me know where you're at.
And if not, how you can find a location is you go to www.federalinjurycenters.com, click locations, and then click map of locations, and all of our locations are there.
And there's a lot of them, but some states don't have any yet. We're working on it.
And Heather Jenkins, this is also answering your question. You go to federalinjurycenters.com, click locations, click map of locations. She said, hi, Gini and Chris. I would like to know if there's an OWCP doctor who can write a COVID narrative for me that I don't have to travel 2 hours to be seen. I can send my medical documents. I had all symptoms, went to urgent care twice, but was never given a COVID test. All symptoms are COVID symptoms.
So I need to know what state you're in, because the key to this is you could do a telehealth visit, but the doctor has got to be licensed in the state where you live. So let us know where you're at.
Tony Miller says, why am I still waiting on my schedule award since 2020? Call my worker, still no answer.
Yeah, so I don't know the answer to that. Get an account on eComp and see if you've got any letters on there. Go to ecomp.dol.gov and just create a profile on there and see if you've got any documents that might point you in the right direction.
Yeah. Diane Green, hi. Constantly promoting y'all. Still waiting for y'all to come to Buffalo, New York. We are, trust me, we know.
As soon as the winter's over. That sounds great.
As soon as what?
Winter is over.
Don't listen to him. We haven't found a doctor yet.
We haven't, but I'd love to come to Buffalo and teach.
In the cold.
Not
he loves the cold.
Not at all.
Renee Lala, I filed with OWCP CA2 on 2/9/22. Is there a deadline to submit doctor's report for approval?
No. I filed a CA2 this month. Okay, so we tell our doctors they need to get all narratives in within 30 days. Okay. But we tell our doctors, forget that rule. Get them in 48 hours. Your deadline can come and go. Even if they close your claim, they'll reopen it. Just encourage your doctor to hurry the heck up.
So, Raj, the only closest place to Jersey City would be Manhattan. There's a doctor in Manhattan. That's all we know of, and he's probably the first doctor in Manhattan.
Unless Philly's
in New York.
closer. I don't know. Is Philly closer? Sometimes Philly's closer
No, not
to New Jersey. No. Okay.
You go to Manhattan, Raj. Go to federalinjurycenters.com and find the Manhattan office. Nathan Sosa, I received a letter from my doctor saying that I had COVID-19 and have long haul symptoms. I won't be able to get my antibody lab tests back for a week. Should I submit my letter through eComp or should I wait until I get the lab results? Thank you.
If your doctor writes a great narrative like ours are trained to do, you can submit that without your results and then submit those later. You can wait. It's not going to hurt you to wait if if it's not going to be months. If you're just going to wait a few days, that's okay.
Renee Cheney, my claim was approved. Congratulations.
That's great.
It wouldn't have been without y'all's guidance, knowledge, and referring me to your amazing McKinney, Texas office with amazing Nina and Juanita. Well, congratulations.
Yeah, we really appreciate that. We've got an office in McKinney, Texas, and they just opened up in Bedford, Texas as well. They're both in the DFW area.
And we're gonna be there for an open house April 28th.
But they're just so good at getting claims accepted. We're super proud of them.
James Butler, my steward couldn't help me. They closed my claim. Don't know what form I need or what to do now.
Well, why don't you send us a message and on Facebook and let us help you.
This is for Patisli. Heather Jenkins, I'm in Jacksonville, Florida, and would like to know if any of your doctors on your webpage could write a narrative.
Every doctor on my webpage writes a narrative, so that's what we do. It's our number one specialty is writing narratives to get your claims accepted.
Michelle Piper, we need you guys in Buffalo.
Yeah, we're working on it, Michelle.
Melissa, I have submitted everything to OWCP and can't get a response back from anyone. I need a left hip replacement, and my doctor wrote me a note with restrictions, and my supervisor says it's no good. She can't give me any parcel assistance without an approved OWCP claim. The rural carrier contract doesn't allow limited duty. I submitted a C5 also.
Yeah, I hate that that's the case for rural carriers, but it is. FMLA, Family Medical Leave Act, will protect your job for up to 120 days. You can use sick and annual leave, and you can get that stuff back when your claim's accepted. But it's pretty clear that getting your claim accepted is the most important thing for you, because once that's accepted, then they're required to give you limited duty. And for sure they can't penalize you for having an injury.
My mom says my dad is watching.
Hey, Dad.
Daddy. Everybody give some hearts for my mom and dad in Orlando. Yes, we love them.
Oh my goodness gracious.
You guys, Paul Wedge, you guys have helped me so much. Well, thank you.
Thanks,
Paul. Look at all the hearts coming in from my mom and dad.
Look at that.
That's so sweet. There you go, Daddy. The hearts are for you. All right, Michael Sanchez. How long do you have to file for reimbursement via CA7A leave buyback with an accepted claim?
So the good news is what's his name?
Michael.
When your claim's accepted, you can go all the way back to day one, and there's no cutoff for being able to file that stuff. If it was 10 years from now and your claim's accepted, you can still go back. So just get working on the paperwork. It can be a lot, and you should have no problem.
I'm showing my dad my makeup.
Oh, brother.
Okay. Daddy, see? Okay. All righty, Spidey. Sherry McNeil says, I'm in New York. My claim said my claim was not received within 30 days. So what now?
That just means you can't have COP. If you didn't report your CA1 claim within 30 days, you're not going to get COP. But otherwise, 30 days is not a thing. You have 3 years to report your injuries.
Okay. Lindsay, okay, first of all, right, we did say that you don't need the federal attorney to be in your state. What I'm going to do is, if you can go ahead and message me after the chat and leave your phone number and just say, New York, and what you need him for, I will make sure tomorrow morning he calls all of you back, because he's going to be on my bad list. Kyle, is this for TSA employees? How long after COVID positive do you have to file for a CA1? Yes, we help all of AFGE, including our awesome TSA guys and girls.
Yeah, this is definitely for that. And a COVID claim is a CA1 claim. CA1 claims have 3 years from the date of injury to report.
Aw, Paul said too beautiful for makeup.
Thanks, Paul. Look, I appreciate it. That's why I don't wear makeup.
It's true.
Well, it's really nice.
Oh.
Obviously, I'm going to say thank you.
Paul, thanks. Lindsay says, can I have that number?
8675309.
That's not Eric Blowers' number, but if you message me, I'll get you the number. Just get me yours. Renee Lala, I work for USPS. Do I still earn annual or sick leave after my OWCP has been filed? My doctor has me out for 4 weeks or more.
So that's a good question. Nobody's asked that. I know other benefits do not accumulate while you're on OWCP and you're out of work. So I'm going to assume that these don't either, but somebody on here is a union rep, and I'd really appreciate it if you would contact her and tell her how that's going to work for her.
Kyle, when you asked about TSA, I don't know if you're following TSA Talk, but if not, you can tell your coworkers that we do this every week.
Yeah.
And we're here and we help all federal folks.
Everybody.
If you're a federal employee, we help you.
Yep.
And you're a federal employee with a lot to do at the airport.
Maria Portal, hi.
Maria. Carl said Jenny. Is that me?
Well, it's somebody.
I don't know.
All right, what other questions do you have? Let's go. Keep them coming.
All of you guys messaged me on Wednesday night chats, and now you don't have no messages, so Chris could answer some.
I'll just talk about some stuff. If you go to federalinjurycenters.com, there's been a few COVID questions tonight, and I've got a tab that is for COVID claims. So go check that out. It's on one of the drop-down boxes under, I think, the OWCP claims tab. And in there, I wrote a lot of information about what you have to do to be eligible for your COVID claims and, you know, what the implications are as far as COP and CA-16s. So go check that out, including the rules that came from the specific bulletins related to this that OWCP put out
Yeah.
at the end of last year.
Heather Jenkins said, I was seen by one of your doctors from your webpage to have a reconsideration done due to there being a time deadline, which is approaching in April. How long do I wait for the doctor to submit a narrative to the employer? I was seen a month and a half ago, and the doctor still has not completed and submitted my reconsideration. What's the reasonable amount of time it takes to write a narrative?
Our rule is 48 hours. So will you do me a favor and send us a private message on Facebook? Let me know what office you're at.
Yes.
You're not in danger of losing anything as a result of this, as long as you get your reconsideration, your appeal request form in within 12 months. But this is going to be a good training point for us, so I appreciate the feedback. Let me know where you're going, and I'll get you fixed up.
Paul Wedge said, my schedule knee replacement is set for the March 22nd. We'll see how it goes.
Man, I hate that.
Victor Ortiz said, my postmaster told me to submit a CA-17 due to my knee replacement done in 2018. Since then, I've been working for 3 years on my route. Postmaster told me to leave it in November, and I have been out ever since without pay. Never gave me a chance of light duty. What can I do?
Well, if your claim's accepted and your postmaster sent you home, then you fill out a CA-7 for LWOP and you get paid. They're supposed to offer you limited duty assignments when you can work and your claim's accepted. So also talk with your union about that. You may have a grievance that you need to file.
Tressa says, I'm on my second reconsideration and I've been out since May with no pay. My postmaster won't let me work with my current restrictions. Can I find a job within my restrictions outside of the post office, or that would hurt my claim? I need something to happen soon. Can't keep going without having some kind of income.
Well, any job outside of the post office still has to be within your restrictions. If you go outside of your restrictions, you're going to have real problems with your federal job. So you got to be very, very careful about that. And then the other thing is you're going to have to report that income on your CA-7. So just be aware of that. Maria,
you're at a union meeting? We'll jump in soon. Maria, just broadcast us at your union meeting.
And tell everybody we said hi.
Kelly Brown, I filed a CA-1 for COP and submitted my positive test. And once they reviewed it, they said they were suspending my adjudication and administratively closing my case. It does say I can file for wage loss compensation, CA-7. What do I do?
Get a doctor to write a good narrative report to make sure that thing is open and you have your benefits.
Melissa says, I'd like to get help with getting my scheduled award upgraded. So go ahead and message me your phone number and where you're located, and I'll have Eric look into that.
Yeah.
The federal attorney. Kyle says, so I think I heard him say if it's been more than 30 days, there's no continuation of pay.
That's right. So the rule on continuation of pay on a CA-1 claim is you've got to get your condition or injury filed within 30 days. If it's day 31, you just don't get COP. The rules are just pretty strong on this. You can't miss deadlines. If you file in 8 days, you can't have a CA-16. If you file in 31 days, you can't have COP. If you file in 3 years and 1 day, you can't file at all. If you report or if you do your reconsideration for appeal 12 months in 1 day, you can't appeal. It's done. So never miss deadlines. You got to know your deadlines. And in my book, Breaking OWCP, I've got a chapter on deadlines.
Yeah, he does.
It's that important that I dedicated a chapter to it. Because if you miss deadlines, it's over. I can't fix it. And if I can't fix it, nobody can.
Just today I was answering a call from, I can't remember where she's from. Anyway,
the United States, probably.
No, she said, that she still it's so sad because she's literally homeless living out of her car that she forgot to submit her reconsideration in 2018.
Good God.
And unfortunately, I hated that I had to tell her there is nothing you can do. So get those reconsiderations out as soon as possible, because you can go to the doctor whenever, as long as you get that paper out.
Yeah, that's really sad.
Kyle, what airport do you work out of? I'd like to know. So if I see you, you can say hi. Kelly Brown said, I just want to get my leave buyback and don't really know what to do.
So, Kelly, you got to have a claim accepted first. So once your claim's accepted, take a CA7 and probably a 7B because you're doing leave buyback. And be sure you attach a CA17 by your doctor, a CA20 by your doctor, print out of any appointments that you were at and it made you have to be out of work, and a disability narrative written by your doctor, signed by your doctor, bless you,
Thank you.
that explains medically why you needed to be out of work, and then send all that stuff in.
Dr. Kammerer said, tell Heather to call us if she needs help with it too. So Heather,
There you go.
if you need help with your claim, just go on our website and look for Pinellas Park or Palm Harbor office, and they'll be on there. Call Dr. K. Michelle Piper says, do your centers do loss of use ratings?
If you're talking about impairment ratings, some of them do, some of them don't. Many of them are in the process of getting trained. Some of them are already. And it's a big push that we're making. It's very important to you, so it's very important to us.
Leslie says, do you have any idea why the button for the new CA7 would be blocked on eComp? Maybe your claim, I'm thinking maybe your claim wasn't accepted.
Well, I don't know. I'm not sure. See, as non-federal employees, we can't make profiles on eComp, so I can't tell you the answer to that. But I can tell you that if you go to federalinjurycenters.com, you can go to the OWCP Forms tab and print all the CA7s you want and fill those out.
Yeah. Renee Marie, how long does a typical narrative take to get from one of your offices? Did you just say like 48 hours?
Yeah, so our rule is 48 hours. Now, look, some of these offices are very new. And when they're new, they're going to go, it's going to take longer because they're in training. But once it's done, you e-comp it, and it's there like instantaneously. But we want our offices to get these things out fast. I'm aware some of them aren't getting them out fast right now because they're training. We're doing the best we can. But at least we have somebody that'll write, and I know she agrees, but at least we have someone that'll write these narratives.
Yeah. And guess who else is watching us tonight from Jacksonville? My father-in-law, Greg Helms.
What's up, Dad?
How
Both
are you?
dads watching at the same time?
And Jill and Ma?
Good God.
Wow. Let's give some heart for Greg Helms.
What's up? My dad just moved to Jacksonville, Florida. He and my Uncle Cliff are opening a fishing charter business in Jacksonville. So once that's up and running, go fishing.
Look at Dad, you're getting some hearts. Both Dad getting hearts tonight. Cute. David Pinero says, I reached MMI and PPI of 6%. What happens next?
You got an impairment rating of 6%? Is that what he's saying? I reached MMI and I don't know what PPI is.
What's a PPI?
I probably do know, but what happens next? You have to attach your your impairment rating, if that's what you're referring to a CA7 and submit that to OWCP. And that's how you get paid.
Jill,
and on CA7, you do letter D, schedule award.
Jill Campbell says, and stay on your DOL claim examiner like HE double hockey sticks.
Hell.
Because they don't show up. They take their time. I'm telling you this. I'm telling you this from experience.
Yeah,
so we heard about that.
But let me just give you a caution. Some people were hearing, I think at the end of last year, that claims examiners were saying, if you keep calling me, I'm going to put you to the bottom of the stack, which is totally unethical, but just keep that in mind.
Renee Marie, yes, for third-party accidents, everybody please message me.
Meaning if you're in a car wreck on the job, don't call a local federal or a local PI lawyer.
Message me immediately.
Right. It doesn't mean local PI lawyers are bad. They're bad for OWCP because they're not good at that or at all. They don't know anything about it. You need a federal lawyer who understands PI, not a PI lawyer who doesn't understand federal.
So yesterday I spoke to Eric about this. He said, if you go to a state PI attorney first, your case is already screwed up. And it's harder for him to fix it. So what he recommends, obviously, get in contact with me either on the IFW Law Group Facebook page or Wednesday night chats. Give me your number. Tell me what you need him for and your phone number. Did I say that? And then I get in contact with him. And he'll call immediately, especially if it is an auto accident.
Now, let me say this, and he knows I'm going to say it too, and I'm always going to. You can choose any lawyer.
Yeah.
You can go on Google and search OWCP lawyer or a federal workers' comp lawyer. You can do that. And that's fine. You cannot contact a local PI lawyer because it's going to hurt your claim. I said all of that, but I prefer Eric. He's cheaper than everybody else, and he is a winner.
Yeah.
That's my thing. I like winning.
Always call the federal attorney first, whether you use Eric or somebody else.
Make sure they're federal.
Yeah, call the federal attorney first. And if there is a state PI attorney that you like, then just let him know, because then that will be the one that he works with. Yeah. But to not damage your case, call him first.
Yeah.
Get in touch with me.
Right.
Kyle, you said all the employees in Cincinnati are clueless about their ability to do this. Several employees have tested positive and 0 have filed a CA1.
Yeah.
Kyle, there's a lot of people that don't know and that don't even know about us that we do this. So get the word out. And
check out federalinjurycenters.com, go under OWCP claims, and then check the COVID claims tab. All the information you're going to need is there. I wrote it. But nobody is at fault, and I wouldn't feel bad if people don't know what to do about a COVID claim because it's new. I mean, we've only had COVID for a couple of years out of like the whole history of this country. So it's confusing and it's stressful, and people are out of work, and they just want to get back to normal in so many levels. So there's a lot of misunderstanding and misinformation out there. But if you check federalinjurycenters.com and look at the COVID tab, I hope that clears it up.
Oh, and another thing too, Kyle, you have 3 years to file your CA1, even if it is for COVID.
Yeah.
So all those people that have had it, maybe when did this start? 2020, 2019, they can still file. So if they think that they can't, they can. Just contact us. We could help if you still don't understand or they still don't feel like it's the truth. Because a lot of people, today somebody messaged me and said, it's not true that you have 3 years to file for your COVID claim. And I said, who said that? And they said their local union told them that, which is not true.
It's easy to misunderstand what's going on, but this is a CA1 claim. And I've read the bulletins on this, and there's nowhere on there that says it's not handled like a CA1 claim. Now listen, this is new to me too. If I find out I'm wrong, I'll be the first one to tell you. But I've read everything.
Yeah.
I don't think reading everything I missed anything, but somebody let me know. And if you're going to tell me that I'm wrong, just show me the documentation so that I can correct it, because I definitely want to, but I'm pretty sure I'm right.
Renee Lala said, I filed a CA2 on 2/9/22. I'm out on LWOP for 4 weeks or more. Am I entitled to COP?
You're entitled to COP if you reported your CA1 claim within 30 days.
Paul Wedge said, the union in my place is absolutely useless. Hey, Paul, if you need help with that, just message us. Maybe we can help the union.
Yeah, well, and also there are union reps on here, like Rich Ray just jumped on, I could see. And we've got people that really, really passionately care about helping you. So, reach out to somebody and get some help. Don't set it a red light forever. Sometimes you got to run it.
Jill says, I do have one question. And how could one second opinion doctor who is not even active put me back or leave me on all my 4 claims on one thing? We spent 10 minutes with me. I'm talking about lower reconstructed ankle, but he released me on a bad knee. Well, he released me on all 4 cases, but I don't know how he got away with it.
Because they get away with it. There's no penalty for them doing this. You're going to have to go back to your treating physician and get a great narrative report explaining why that doctor was totally wrong. And you're going to need to give some input to that, explaining, it was only 10 minutes, and I don't know if he touched you or did any exam, but to me that would be very important information for your doctor to write in their narrative report.
Kyle says, I'm about to go part-time due to constant harassment and issues. You can also file for that as well.
Well, if you
could file a claim.
If you're losing hours, you can document those lost hours on a CA7 and 7A. I'm hoping you're able to do that.
Deborah Gullis said, I need to get paid. I don't like poverty.
I hear that. Hey, whatever we can do to help, we want to. Believe me.
Kyle said he's worked 17.5 years of service.
Thank you.
Right, so Michelle Piper said it's not blocked, she just used it. That's when you were saying, the person that asked about the e-comp issue, I'm thinking maybe it's because your claim isn't accepted.
That's just a guess.
Yeah, it's a guess. I'm not saying.
Just a guess. You can ask your claims examiner why that's happening too.
April Smith said, I'm off since I went into cardiac arrest. Who do I get to help me with disability from OPM but not work related?
So Eric Blowers does handle disability claims as well. You can call him if you want. I I can tell you don't actually have to have a lawyer to file disability. You can do it on your own. You have to file for Social Security first. You don't have to get it, but you have to file for it. Then you can file for disability. But then when they're denied, that you have to do something. Usually once it gets denied, that's when people call a lawyer.
Yeah, so if you want, even Kyle, you said your attorney friend could be helpful to me. Again, if anybody wants to get in contact with Eric, message me saying I need Eric's help. Please give me what state you live in, what the issue is, and your phone number. Just those 3 things. You don't have to go into detail. Just if you say I need Eric's help, I'm going to know. Or the attorney, doesn't matter.
So Jennifer's watching. I want everybody to say hi to Jennifer. She's our head trainer. She's in charge of everybody that trains every doctor nationwide. So everybody give a bunch of hearts for Jennifer.
Jennifer needs some hearts.
None of these doctors are available to any of you without her. So everyone say hi to Jennifer.
Melissa Rivenbark said, if my chain isn't approved, could I use my regular insurance? And does my job have to accept my restriction note then?
You are like, you read like you're the Anchorman guy. Obviously a claim, not chain.
Oh my God. And I'm just going along.
Whatever's on the teleprompter, she's going to read it.
Is that what he does?
Well, let me answer the question.
So if your chain isn't approved...
It's not a chain. If your claim's not approved, could I use my regular insurance? And does my job have to accept my restrictions? No, then. Okay, yes, you can use your insurance. No, they don't have to and probably won't until your claim's approved.
The end.
And once you use your regular insurance, be sure you file an OWCP 915 and get your money back. Hey, Ed's on here too. Hey, Ed.
Ed gets some hearts.
Ed is responsible for making sure every doctor gets credentialed.
Yeah.
So that you can see those doctors.
Gini Quintiana said, good evening. I turned in my COVID claim on eComp on day 2 of having COVID. Case was accepted. Case is now closed, but I never got paid for that week off. I also turned in positive COVID test for proof. I didn't go to the doctor, but went through a drive-through COVID testing site. So I turned in the positive form from the drive-through site. How do I get paid? Thank you for your time and your knowledge.
No problem. Fill out a CA7, claim for compensation. You can get those at federalinjurycenters.com. And attach your documentation to it that you're off of work and for COVID, and send that in.
So Juanita, she's from our Bedford office and our McKinney office. Yeah. And she did for me to remind you of this, and Eric again yesterday told me this too. She said, please remind all of our rural carriers to upgrade their insurance policy if they are using their personal vehicle to deliver mail. I've had 2 patients that had exclusions on their insurance policy. Their PI case is now closed. So Eric was talking to me about this yesterday. You have to get uninsured motorist if you're driving your car.
Or underinsured.
Yeah, so you want to get uninsured and your, what did I say? That's what I said.
Uninsured, underinsured.
Yeah. Because if you're driving your own car, you definitely need that in case the other person doesn't have insurance.
Yeah, which sucks.
Jerry said pre-disciplinary interview PDI. Pook Dilla said, at what point do you need a lawyer?
Well, I mean, it varies. Your names, I love it so much. That one and Johnny Utah, those are names I love a lot.
I locked him in my phone.
It's great names. It varies. You need a lawyer if you get in a car wreck on the job. You need a lawyer when you're trying to do a schedule award, you will often need a lawyer. When you're trying to get disability, you will often need a lawyer. If you're not getting paid and you should have been, and there's like thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars you're not getting paid, you might want a lawyer. Those are times you might need a lawyer. But none of those are guaranteed as 100%. You don't always need a lawyer in those situations either.
Okay. Key Jasmine, any news about the convention coming up in Ohio? We have no clue what that is.
Oh, but let us know. We love that stuff.
Unfortunately, if there is a convention, we weren't invited yet, but we can.
Yep. But in order to be invited, we've got to be invited by the president of the union. Whether it's a local, we need the local president. If it's a state convention, we need the state president. It's very important that we get invited properly because we don't want to just crash the party and,
or
that's not professional.
The secretary or vice president.
Well, that would come from the president regardless. We need an official invite, and we're happy to do it.
Renee Lala said, file the CA2A 2922. I'm out of LWAP. Oh, I guess you didn't hear your answer.
So you are entitled to COP if you reported your injury within 30 days of the injury, and it's a CA1. You're not entitled to COP on a CA2. And this is a CA2.
Jeff says, once approved for comp, when faxing a CA7 every 2 weeks, do you still send doctor documentation with it?
Yep.
You have to attach the 4 things to your CA7.
Yeah, always send documentation because assume that they're going to make a mistake if you don't.
And what are the 4 things you attach, Chris?
A CA17, a CA20, a printout of any appointments you had to go to, and that's when you're out of work, and a disability narrative from your doctor explaining why medically you had to be out of work.
Madeline said, how long can you be on comp before you get disability retirement papers from the post office? And do you need an impairment rating first?
Okay, you don't need an impairment rating first. That's 2 different things. The post office cannot force you to go on disability. No agency can. That's a personal decision. When you go on disability is when you realize, you and your doctor together realize that you cannot do that job anymore. It doesn't mean you can't do some job. It means you can't do that job.
Okay, Kim, you said call Eric first if you have a COVID OWCP case. You don't need to call Eric because he won't take any of that. That's not his specialty.
Yeah, look, I love Eric.
This has nothing to do with federal attorneys.
Let me expand on that. Don't call any lawyer for COVID at all. Upload your positive test, COVID test, your positive antibody test, and or a narrative report from your doctor explaining that you had COVID. We just went through, 2 weeks ago, last week? I can't remember.
Yeah, 2 weeks
ago. It all just runs together.
COVID training.
We trained all of our offices on how to get a COVID claim accepted and how to write a narrative for that. You need a doctor. You don't need a lawyer.
Yeah. So don't call Eric because I'll tell you right now, he'll pick up the phone and says, we don't do that. And so that's
nobody
why
does.
You're having an issue.
Yeah, it's not just Eric. Nobody does. None of the lawyers are going to take this except for the ones that just want your money and don't care that they're taking money for nothing.
Yeah. Liz Nelson said, I would like to know too, can one stay on OWCP if you'd reached MMI?
Yes. If you've reached MMI, so your OWCP claim stays forever. You have lifetime medical. You're at some point going to go back to work. And with a permanent restricted job or, full duty. And that's the surest way to get paid. Your OWCP, though, remains in effect for your lifetime because you have lifetime medical benefits.
So, Michelle, you said I'm a union rep trying to learn some answers for my local.
Yeah.
So, right before COVID, we were supposed to do a convention. Chris and I were going to do a little convention for like 3-4 hours. And we're going to try to bring that back because since Zoom is still a thing now, we probably might do a union rep steward training for about 3 hours or so. But we'll plan that and you'll have a Zoom link where everybody can go on and we'll have like a big screen and stuff. So that's in the works for those of you that are trying to help your union or just trying to be a better steward or a district rep for your employees. We're definitely going to do that training via Zoom.
But we'll also come to your union meetings or do a Zoom. We'll call into your union meetings if you want to get some, individualized training for your locals. I'm happy to do it.
Quick question. So we're going to be doing OWCP Chats podcast. How many of you would actually like to hear Chris and I on a podcast? So while you are driving or you're working in TSA or wherever you're working, would like to have a podcast just in case you've missed Wednesday night chats. We're going to do, Thursday night?
I think we'll do Thursday.
Thursday night OWCP Chats on podcasts. So if you like that, if you want us to do that, let's get some thumbs up if you want us to do that. Liz Nelson said, great place and people to learn from.
Thanks, Liz.
Look at all these. Everybody wants to do podcasts.
Huh.
We always try to cater to you guys, so we're definitely going to do that.
I mean, whatever you need. The point is to get more information out there in every way possible. So we're happy to do that if that's something you guys want.
Awesome. Michael says, I have an OWCP claim, and about 2 weeks ago, I was showing another carrier how his truck chains...
How to take his truck chains off.
My back went out. I went home early and called out for a few days. I went back to work. My manager wrote my leave slip as not IOD and not FMLA. Should I fill out a CA2A? And can they use my sick call against me? Thank you.
Okay, so...
That's actually a CA1.
Okay, he said he already has another claim. So I have to assume that the other claim is a lumbar claim, a lower back. And he's saying he was doing this thing and it caused more problems with his lower back. If that's the case, you only need a 2A if your claim was closed go back to your doctor. I think you need to report this as a separate CA1.
Yeah.
Because there's an incident that happened. I think that's the way you go. Report as a separate CA1.
Yeah. That's what I said.
I had to talk myself through it.
Okay. Michelle Smith said, my case has been in reconsideration since January. How long does it normally take? I'm planning on retiring in May.
There's no way for me to answer that intelligently. It varies just depending on the claims examiner's workload. But it can take time. I mean, it can. That's not surprising to me.
Michelle Piper said, I filed Social Security disability, denied, and filed my own appeal, and won because their doctor agreed with my doctors. Huh.
Oh.
April Smith, you need Eric's help. Again, go ahead and go on after the chats. Go on the messenger. Tell me where you're located, your phone number, and what you need Eric for. So I will definitely, tomorrow he's going to be making a lot of calls. Mr. Weber, I was injured last Friday and filed with eComp the same day after going to the ER, and now I have a case number. I marked COP, but I'm lost as far as what's next. I have an appointment on Monday to have my shoulder rotator cuff checked. So number one, I hope you just go to a regular DOL doctor before you go to a specialist. That's number one. Because if you go to your orthopedic surgeon, they may not know how to write a narrative to get your claim accepted. And they're in the category that Chris always says, don't go to that doctor because you'll get denied.
That's right.
Oh, you don't have anything more to add?
That's pretty good.
Oh, okay.
Well, actually, read the question again. Let me see it. Last Friday, filed eComp, same
COP.
day. I marked COP. I have an appointment on Monday. Okay, so as far as your COP goes, I want you to go to your supervisor and make sure you're going to get paid COP. That's the key. As long as your supervisor confirms it, you should be good to go. You should start getting paid regularly.
Jill Campbell said, if anything, maybe under care of Department of Labor for 10 years. Don't give up. You might go broke for a while, but don't give up and don't let them win while you're out injured for life.
Yeah,
She's absolutely right.
I couldn't agree more. I always say never give up. If you don't give up, we won't give up. But I definitely understand the frustration of, the loss of income. It's devastating. I hate it.
Ms. Coleman said, I had a complete right knee replacement. How do I file for a schedule award? Is it approved? Is it an approved claim? And am I returning to work on Tuesday for limited duty?
So in order to get a schedule award, your doctor's got to say that you're at maximum medical improvement, or MMI. This is a medical decision. Nobody can make it but your doctor. So go talk to your doctor, see if you're an MMI, and if not, find out what you need to do so that you can get as good as possible, then be placed at MMI. Then you get to do an impairment rating, and that's how you get your schedule award.
This is cool. Kyle, the TSA guy, says, I stumbled upon this. How do I message you? I just like to know, how did you stumble? Like, were you Googling something? Because I like to know those things so I know.
So we can get more people to stumble on us.
What more I have to do as far as marketing go and social media, so I make sure and I push this out there.
Yeah, I'm glad you found us. I'd love to know how that came about.
We always ask. Like we asked, Rich Ray even said he was Googling OWCP and stumbled upon us on a Wednesday night. So it's pretty neat.
And you message us by just using Facebook Messenger.
Yeah, so Kyle, when we're done with the chats, what you need to do is go back on our Wednesday night OWCP chats page and click the follow button. And then it says message, like you're sending a regular private message to someone, and just private message me there, just on the Wednesday night OWCP chats. And I will look for your message and get with you.
Yep.
Leslie Lancaster, my claim is open since March 2021, but if I still just fax the CA7 to them, I will. My claim examiner worker keeps telling me to put it through eComp. She then said I would have to call DOL.
Well, definitely use eComp. Go to ecomp.dol.gov, create a profile there, and then you can upload scanned documents that way.
Okay, Renee said, with travel reimbursement form, we are supposed to attach proof of appointment. I'm submitting travel back to 2020. My best documentation seems to be the office notes. The file was given all together, no separating them. Can I print one copy of the 58 pages and put that in the envelope with all the travel papers, maps with mileage, etc.? Do I have to go through and try to separate appointments by page, as travel only puts 3 trips on each page.
I'll tell you what, my answer to that is I would want to do whatever's the most efficient thing for that kind of stack of documents.
I think what she's saying is good.
But what I'd rather do, regardless of efficiency, is what would make it easiest for the claims examiner to pay you. So make sure that it's organized as good as possible. You can do all that, but just keep it organized really great.
Like week by week.
So your claim examiner doesn't get confused.
Yeah. Missy Minor says, if my occupational disease case was accepted after I had surgery, do I have to go back and do all the medical under work comp, or can I leave it on my health insurance since it's already been paid? Ooh, that's a tricky question.
I wouldn't leave it on health insurance. I'd put it all on work comp, and then I'd get reimbursed for all the money that you paid out of your pocket.
Carol says, looking for a doctor in Houston to write my impairment rating.
Working on it, Carol. And they don't have to be in Houston unless you just don't want to leave Houston. They can be anywhere.
Paul, you said, can I get that info if I'm not a steward anymore? Yeah. Well,
Absolutely.
When we do the training, we're just going to open it up to any federal employee. We're hoping to have a couple thousand of you on there. Kim says, let me explain. It's been over a year-long COVID. I'm considered for disability. I have permanent condition. Eric's office was the only moments call me back.
The only one to call me back.
Oh, okay. Rich Ray said, absolutely. Sounds good. Renee Lala, after filing my CA2, if approved, what type of compensation am I entitled to?
Only LWOP. You'll fill out a CA7 form once your claim's approved and get paid by LWOP.
Kara Small said, hey guys, a podcast would be awesome. Rich Ray said, I would enjoy that, absolutely. Renee Marie said, I'd love to listen to a podcast with you guys and special guests like doctors, unions, Eric, etc. That's the plan.
Great feedback, thank you.
Betty, question. If I need surgery for carpal tunnel I developed while working at the post office, can I fill out a CA2?
Yes, that's exactly what you fill out.
Kara Small said, if you guys could decipher some of these codes that OWCP uses, that would be awesome, especially the CA7 status codes.
I've got it in my Google right now because I saw that message come up, OWCP status codes. I'll be looking into that and I'll get back with you.
Kara, we do have a doctor in Charlotte, North Carolina. And if you're looking for... Renee Marie, if you can type our maps, our Federal Injury Center's location and our phone number so I could pin it, that'd be great. Kara, go on www.federalinjurycenters.com, click locations, and then map of locations, and all the locations are there, and you'll see the North Carolina office info. Marie Harp, I am on periodic payroll since 1/22. Do I submit a CA7, CA7A still? I don't see anything pending when I log into my eComp case for February payroll. Any info would be greatly.
So I'm pretty sure on periodic you don't have to send those in. Just call your claims examiner and confirm that though.
Oh, Kyle, you found us on TSA Talk. Yeah, yours was the one that cool. That's awesome. Good. Kara said, also, OWCP has stopped my benefits due to their second opinion. Doctor stated that I had reached MMI and its total permanent disability, but I could do sedentary work. I have not received this in writing from OWCP, just my case manager telling me that. They could do that while waiting on a rebuttal from my doctor.
Yeah.
That's it? Okay.
It wasn't really a question there.
Marie said, also, my work comp doc put in for referrals in January for several specialists for COVID. I called CNSI and nothing was submitted. Also, TSA officer here in Maui. Ooh. Contracted COVID in 7/31/22 at checkpoint. Marie.
Wait, 7/31/22 hasn't happened yet, so that was probably a typo.
She probably meant 20 or 21.
Yeah, maybe. My workers' comp doc put in for referrals in January.
You don't need to go to a specialist for COVID.
I mean, unless you do, pulmonologist. I mean, you need a specialist if you need it for treatment, but to get your claim accepted, you don't.
We don't have anything in Hawaii yet.
Not yet, but we're working
coming. On it. Tanya said, I found you one lonely night 2 years ago while looking for a glimmer of hope from support group. What you provided was so much more, and even though I'm exhausted and in pain.
We love you, Tanya.
I will never give up thanks to you guys.
Please don't.
Sheila said, do DOL pay for you to travel to get a
Impairment rating. Yeah. Yeah, they'll pay using an OWCP 957 when your claim's accepted. You can't get impairment rating if your claim's not accepted anyways, but yeah, you can be reimbursed for travel for that.
Kevin, you're back. I didn't see you last time.
So, Kevin?
He says, the surgery my surgeon put in was denied by DOL. The final approved.
They finally approved.
Oh, my God. They finally approved a different surgery last year, and it failed. In pain, 24/7, always at 8 or 9 or 10. 3 doctors have suggested the original surgery, and it's still pending since last year. Case manager yelled at me when I asked what she needed and asked me what I wanted her to do. Then she hung up on my face. I'm becoming paralyzed and angry on a cane.
Okay, so let me just...
Well, where is he?
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, Kevin, where are you?
Kevin, tell us where you're located. So the issue with surgeries is they do not deny surgeries that are medically necessary for the approved condition. So my first question is, what is your approved diagnosis, and what surgery are they denying?
Kevin, if you don't want to put that on here, it's fine.
Yeah.
Just message us.
Send us a message.
I'll have Chris read that and
Kevin's in
answer
Dallas.
you.
Okay, so Kevin, we'll be able to help you in Dallas. I know surgeons there. I'm from there. Okay, so I know everybody there. Send us a private message and let me know what your approved condition is and what surgery they're trying to get approved that keeps getting denied, and let me see how I can help you.
Kenneth Kemp said, I've been on workers' comp for 30 years. Now that I turned 65, do I lose my ECHO benefits? Social Security is half of my workers' comp pay.
Yeah, I mean, once you retire, you hit retirement age. I mean, a lot of this stuff's going to cut off.
Paul said, I used to be my union secretary, but I had to leave for them being incompetent. Wow. Sheila, can I file a CA2 after I retire in 2020 for my knee?
I would not try to file anything after retirement. That's usually an automatic denial. You can't get in trouble for it, but you may go through a lot for a guaranteed denial, but you can do it. I've just never seen it approved.
Renee Marie, thank you for doing that. I just picked. Okay, so if you're looking for our book, Federal Injury Center's locations, you can see what I pinned down right below there. All of our information is on there. Where did that question go? Donna, I don't know if you're asking or telling. There's a doctor in Charlotte, North Carolina. Yes, that is Dr. Cox.
Yeah. A whole huge staff.
Oh my God, their office is what, 15,000 square feet?
He just hired his 3rd nurse practitioner. He's got multiple doctors running around, medical doctors and chiropractors. He's got a huge therapy center. That thing is fully loaded.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Kara says, am I being discussed on telecoms with all the postmasters?
That's not a question. That's a statement.
Oh, and. Oh, sorry. I didn't see and. That's not good. That's a HIPAA violation.
Yeah, I think so.
Renee Lala said, I was injured on duty. My supervisor said it was an occupation injury and gave me a CA2 to file. Can I resubmit under CA1?
If it happened in a single work shift, it should be a CA1, and I recommend that you do that. If it developed over 2 or more shifts, it is a CA2, and that's correct.
Aw, Rich Ray. There was a time I lost faith. I lost hope with dealing with OWCP. Now, after meeting Gini and Chris, my membership now have doctors we can rely on. I am blessed, Gini and Chris, for meeting you guys. Great things are coming in the near future.
Thank you, Rich. And we love you too, Rich.
That's so sweet.
Rich is the most genuinely good guy I've ever met.
Yeah. Yvonne said, I had rotator cuff surgery on my right shoulder. Now my left shoulder and bicep, they said I have to file on both at the same time. Is that true?
No. You just have to file them within 3 years of the injury. Whatever. You can file them anytime within 3 years.
Oh, that girl, Mary, said, sorry,
Oh,
7:31. Okay. I know I'm in Hawaii, but your information is greatly appreciated. You're so welcome.
We can't wait to meet you in Hawaii. Believe me.
We'll be there this weekend. Have a room ready.
Okay, so that's not really true, so don't do that.
Renee Marie said, please noted the Cleveland address has not been updated. Okay, I sent Norm that.
Yeah, we'll send it again. Thank you for that. But for whoever wants to go to the Cleveland office, she put the correct address there. It's not correct on my website.
Sheila said, if I find a doctor in Austin, Texas to do my impairment rating, I live in Houston, will they pay?
You need to call your claims examiner in advance and ask for permission to be reimbursed. It's called pre-authorization. Maybe not. But you got to do what you got to do to get your schedule award. regardless.
Okay, Harleen said, I have an OWCP case. I had 2 surgeries on my knee, ready to what?
You're covering yourself.
Oh. I received a schedule award and I'm on light duty. I now have a total knee replacement waiting on OWCP to approve it. How long do they have to approve it? They've been working on this case since last year and still no approval. Also, is there just one schedule award, or after another surgery will there be another?
So you can get a modified schedule award if situation changes for you. As far as how long it takes, you can call your claims examiner and ask what the heck is going on if there's a problem. You can also go on eComp and see if there's any denial letters or approval letters.
Sheila said, does it take CA7 to get your case reopened?
No, a CA7 just gets you paid. A CA2A gets a previous claim reopened.
Donna, you said, I would like to ask.
Ask away, Donna.
Please send me the address. Oh, you're talking about the North Carolina office? So here, it's pinned down below. You just go to www.federalinjurycenters.com, click locations, and then click map of locations, and all of our thousands of locations are on there. We haven't read breach.
Tens of locations.
Tens? Okay.
Tens.
Thousands sounded better.
It does.
Patisse Lee, I need to know if we can get another doctor office on the eastern part of North Carolina because the office in Charlotte is too far for some of us.
So, this is a good question. The question is, can we get another doctor? Well, that's my question too. But what it takes is convincing. Doctors don't understand OWCP like they understand it less than all of you do. And when I try to tell them that I need help, all they say is, I hate workers' comp. And it's hard to get through to them. The fact that we've got the number that we have is just based on effort, like a lot of effort to convince these guys now and ladies. Now, once the doctors figure it out, they're like, oh, shoot, I should have been doing this all along.
Yeah.
But all of that was to say, I want to put an office everywhere. But it just takes convincing doctors to say yes to me.
But if you'd like, you guys could list major locations on here that you would like us to put a location. You have to remember, some of you may have to drive. We can't put one everywhere like McDonald's, even though we're a franchise.
I'd like to.
But we can put it in certain areas. So just let us know the areas you guys would like us so I could pass that on to Joe.
All right, so we're just going to answer a couple more. We're already over an hour. So
Paul Wedge said, can I recommend an orthopedic office in Connecticut?
Yes, you can.
Patisse Lee, can they force us to retire with disability?
They can, depending on what craft you're with, they can put a deadline on you coming back to work, but they can't make you go on disability.
Trudy said, I was hurt on the job July 6, 2021. I'm still fighting for my OWCP. They ask for something different every time they deny my claim. Do I need a lawyer?
No, you just need a doctor to address those narratives and stop the denials.
You can find yourself another doctor if that's what you need. You don't have to stay with the doctor that you're with.
And that happens, by the way, even with us. There's a guy that I can think of in our Massachusetts office in Norwood, Massachusetts, which is like a Boston suburb. And in spite of our best efforts, this guy's claim was denied multiple times until finally it wasn't anymore. We eventually won that one as well because that's what we do. But it can happen, multiple denials, in spite of the best efforts of your doctor. So just keep taking your denial letters back to your doctor and go again. Never give up.
Sheila said, if I'm getting paid 6 hours by DOL and working 2 hours, but I'm hurting doing the 2 hours, is it hard to get DOL to put me back on 8 hours? And how long will it take them to pay me if I can't work the 2 hours?
So the way you get off completely is what you're asking. How do I get taken completely off of work? Your doctor has got to fill out a new CA-17 duty status report and explain with a disability narrative why you can't work.
Donna said, I'm seeing some USPS carriers being issued FMLA for OWCP injuries. Am I wrong? But FMLA is a Fed law too. It protects employees from management and your unscheduled absence. OWCP is Fed law, correct? OWCP schedule. Why are they issuing FMLA?
Okay, that's a mouthful, but I'll tell you this about FMLA. Family Medical Leave Act is a federal law, and it protects you when you're out of work to care for yourself or a loved one. And so what I like to tell people is if your claim's not approved, but you need to be out and you're worried about maybe being fired, Family Medical Leave Act says you have up to 120 days to be out of work and they have to offer your job back or a job at the same level of pay.
I don't agree with an impairment rating of 1%. What can I do?
Take it to another doctor.
You both are so amazing. Thank you so much for helping all of us who are in such great need of information. What is your closest location to Tampa? In Pinellas Park.
Yep, and Palm Harbor.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Palm Harbor too. Just go on our website. That's pinned down below, and you'll see all the locations.
I mean, where we are, we drive through Tampa to get to Pinellas Park, and it's nothing. I mean, we got to go through it to get there. It's an easy drive.
Yeah, and that soon, that doctor in Pinellas Park, which is also Palm Harbor, will be coming to Tampa, probably before the end of the year. We're hoping.
Land O'Lakes and St. Pete.
Yeah. Sheila said, do you all train classes on OWCP?
Absolutely. We love doing that. Say when.
Everybody's doing what cities? John said, I just got here late. I hope I didn't miss the Q&A time. Is it possible to change my physical therapist? The doctor they use is a chiropractor, so I'm not sure if the place is most qualified despite them being good with OWCP.
Okay, so I'm going to answer this very thoroughly. Yes, you can change to a physical therapist, for sure. Your medical doctor can refer you someplace else. But this brings up a question that a lot of people have, and so I want to address it here. You get told all the time by your supervisors, by some nurse case managers even, that should know the rules better than this, that you cannot go to a chiropractor to get therapy. That's false. The Code of Federal Regulations says that chiropractors can do services in the nature of physical therapy as long as they're ordered and supervised by a medical doctor. So, for the rest of you out there, that was for you. You can go to a chiropractor for therapy. For the person who was asking about their therapist, of course you can change. You can go anywhere for your treatment. In fact, all of our offices have a sign up front that says you can go anywhere for your treatment.
Yeah.
We like you to be able to choose. And so even in our office, we tell you you can choose. So you definitely can do that.
Rich Ray said, you do not have to do FMLA on OWCP. They're trying to make you waste your FMLA time.
Rich is correct. So you don't have to, but you can if you're worried about needing protection for your job.
So here's the thing. A lot of you are giving us orthopedic surgeons for us to contact. They don't want to do the work because seeing you and maybe a handful of you a month, they're okay with. But to do this on a daily basis and all the stuff you have to do, the therapy, the note writing, the narratives and everything, they don't want to do this. And we know this because they have told us this, the ones that we are working. They don't want to do this on an everyday basis.
Yeah.
They want you to go, have your claim accepted, get your surgery, and be on your way. So that's the reason why we don't push towards orthopedic surgeons doing that. And the people in Pinellas Park are great.
Who said that?
Tammy.
Tammy Newman. Hey, Tammy, say hi to Scott.
Melissa said, what if we had a case closed without our knowledge?
It happens all the time. That's not a big deal. Call your claims examiner and ask what the or why it was closed, and that'll tell you how to get it reopened. But all cases that were once open can be reopened when they're closed.
Sheila said, what can I do if my CA7 is going through eComp and I'm not getting paid? Remember, you have to attach those 4 things to your CA7.
And when you don't get paid, they are supposed to send you a letter, and it'll be in your ecomp.dll.gov portal, and explaining why you didn't get paid. So take that to your doctor and ask for a narrative report to explain why you should have gotten paid.
Okay. If we didn't answer your question, message us as soon as the live ends.
Yep.
We want to thank you guys and all of our new folks on here. We hope you continue watching us. And
tell all your friends.
Tell your friends, hey, there's this husband and wife. Yeah, husband. And they do this
I have no idea what that's about.
Work comp show. Yeah, it's the husband and wife work comp show. We should name it that. Yeah.
I don't think we're going to name it that.
What are the 4 things you need to attach to your CA7?
Okay, so real quick. You need to attach a CA17 signed by your doctor, your medical doctor. You need a CA20 signed by that doctor. You need a printout of any appointments you were at that required you to be out of work, like doctor's appointments, signed by the doctor or the therapist if you're there for therapy, or chiropractor. And then you need a report that we call a disability narrative where the doctor is writing in detail why medically you needed to be out of work. And all 4 of those things get attached to your CA7 and sent in.
Renee said, what's our win count?
You know what? The last time I checked, we were, for the year, approaching 500. And that's approved claims.
Oh. Claims, yes.
And since this year started, we've gotten a lot more approved. So I'm not really sure, but I appreciate that question. All we do is win, as the song says, no matter what. That's all we do.
Which one? All we do is win, 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 win. Is that
Well,
it?
they don't say that many wins,
Oh,
but
okay.
it's pretty close. So I appreciate the question. I'll try to have an answer for you, Renee, by next week. I got to talk to my staff and get the stats on that, but it really is unusual for us to see denied claims.
Yeah.
That's very, very unusual. But when we do see them, we get them approved. Like I told you, there's that person in Massachusetts that had multiple denials. Well, the thing got approved. That's the way it goes. Eventually, they're going to get approved. The only ones that don't are claims that are not legitimate claims, like it didn't actually happen at work, which thankfully we don't really see those.
Yeah.
The federal workforce is really honest. So we just don't see that. And then the other way that we can't get a claim approved is if they're not timely filed, meaning they're not filed within 3 years.
Like I told you guys, a lady from 2018.
So I always tell our doctors, all legitimate, timely filed claims should be approved, period. And that's the way we work.
All right, and Donna McCracken said, I truly appreciate you guys. You guys are a godsend for so many of us.
Well, we appreciate you too, and thank you for being here, and thank you all for being here.
And Shirley said, can I get my claim approved if I'm retired now? As long as you filed before retirement, we can, go on our website, see if there's a doctor that's close to you, and if not, Google. What do they Google?
OWCP Injury Doctor in your city and state. OWCP Injury Doctor, city and state.
I don't know any orthopedics specialist in West Palm Beach, but if you called the Pinellas Park office,
They've got some.
they got like 4 doctors and they can refer you over to them.
Who are going to work with your OWCP claim and not try to take money from you.
And I know it's a far drive, but you're in West Palm, and
It's better than the cost of that surgery.
the Clearwater. We have 4 surgeons on board with us right now
In the Pinellas Park
in the
area.
Pinellas Park area and Tampa. And if you need a surgeon, call the Pinellas Park office, ask Dr. K for the phone number, and they'll be able to get it to you. And I highly recommend you driving to see these guys because they're going to do a freaking great job.
Yep.
All right. When we get Scott's approved, we are going to jump for joy. I have faith.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, guys. So again, thank you everyone for watching us tonight with your Q&A. Maybe next week we can continue Q&A because a lot of you weren't able to hop on right at the beginning, and a lot of you still have questions. So go ahead and have next week again for Q&A part 2. And this is Ellie.
That's okay. I brought her in.
This,
So
yeah,
Ellie says hi. I want everyone on here
it's okay. It's
to meet Ellie. She is
Say
our
hi, baby.
93-pound, 1-year-old German Shepherd who likes chicken curry. Ask her why she likes chicken curry so much.
Did you eat the chicken curry?
Ellie, did you eat the
What
chicken
did you
curry?
do?
Ellie,
What did you do? See her ears flopped?
Ellie, did you do that?
So we'll see you guys again
Oh, it's
next
okay.
week
It's
for
okay.
part 2 for Q&A, so we can get and tell your friends. Everybody's saying hi, Ellie. Tell your friends to hop on in case they have any questions. And for all the new TSA folks with AFGE, thank you for being on. Don't forget to hit the follow button and the share button. And we'll see you guys next week for part 2 of Q&A.
All right.
Everyone
have a good night.
Bye.